Well, hey there, Derby people. I get to sit up here on a balcony now and have a rest and do some talky things all by myself. All right, so this game we have got the Kingston City Rollers, the Royals, in pink. Skating today we have 1-2 Crush, 1-8-2 Mayhem, 2-2 Screw, 3-5 Carnage, 3-6-9 Smiley, 4-1-9 Commander Chaos, 4-6-9 Exy, 5-4 Rainbow Bash, 7 Bam, 8-8 Raff, and 9-1 Marie Fury. Over on the other bench, we have got the black team, the Rockabellas Roller Derby League, the Bellas. Skating with them today, we've got 024 Go-Go Yubari, 07 Starry Night, 077 Turtle, 118 Kick, 201 Sensational, 41 Miss T, 5 Jam Solo, 8008 Princess Muscles, and 84 Whammy. This should be a very interesting game of derby. Fun fact, if you have a look at the bench crew, I can see we've got bench crew on bench crew here, father versus daughter, Chops versus Code. I'm sure they'll both enjoy this and have a lot of fun. Hi, Choppy. Skaters on track, just waiting for things to get organised. Officials having a last-minute chat, getting themselves sorted. Speaking of our officials in the middle there, we've got Spanners, Knickerblocker, Bussy the Vampire Slayer, Corey, Gary, Elemental, Serial Offender and Pee-wee. Making sure that everybody is safe and having fun. As well as our wonderful NSOs, we've got Campaign, Brianna, Buster Hammy, Killer Curls, Hannibal Dector, Toots, Thea Later Alligator, Crystal, OG and Buster Hammy. Oh, I'm so happy. I just found a friend. Smackaron is going to join me up here. Yay! I have a friend. I'm not a loner anymore. Thanks, Smack.
No worries. All right, so first jam of the game, we've got Screw Lucy playing for Kingston and 201 playing for the Rockabellas.
So our Bellas jammer is Sensational. And it's going to make our job a little bit tricky up here because there seems to be some problems with the scoreboard. It is not actually showing us any information, unfortunately.
We can do it. And that's the first scoring pass for the Bellas.
So Senna is lead jammer. Coming up a very strong Kingston wall with a nice rotation there. Hit out by Exie and dragged right back. Screw's also been knocked out and taken, recycled back by Miss T there for the Bellas.
And another scoring pass for the Bellas, while the Kingston jammers still trying to go through their initial pass.
So some nice offensive work there from Turtle in the Bellas, just distracting that Kingston triangle, and Senna getting around and through on the outside. And called off by Senna. Yes, I'm not surprised we have an official timeout to sort out the scoreboard, is my guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I can math, but I'm not going to be able to math that well.
We're two teachers here, but we can't do the maths.
I only teach grade 1, 2s, okay? Count up to 20, 50, and then 100, and we're good.
And I'm teaching French, so I can't help you here.
You could teach me to count in French. I think I know up to 3, and that's about it.
That's a good way to start.
Our wonderful officials taking the time to repair the poor track. It's had a hard couple of days, this track. I can actually see all the patchwork marks from up here. Okay, that scoreboard's looking a little bit better. Thanks to the wonderful Jen that is down there sorting it out. And Bullseye. Takes many, many things to make the derby go round.
I'm trying to get the number of the jammer, but can't see.
Well, I can tell you that that is Crush jamming for
Yes.
Kingston.
Yeah,
Pink
jammer.
1, 2.
Or 7 maybe? Starry Night?
It could well be Starry Night for the Bellas. I ironically commentated the Bellas game yesterday. Yay, Derby!
Derby's back. And it is Starry Night for the Bellas. And that's lead jammer for Crush, the jammer of Kingston.
Oh, unfortunately, a back block there for one of the jammers, but we're getting a number muddle up, I think, because we've got 07, which is our jammer for Starry Night, but then they've also got a player Turtle who's 077. Numbers are hard.
Very strong defense for the Royals. Kingston, as the Bellas jam is still on their initial.
So we've got a scoring pass there for Crush.
And
Turtle
a star
is
pass.
out with a star pass. So 077 is now the recognised jammer. Coming around that straightaway and onto the apex. Jam called off by Crush. So scores are the Royals on 10 and the Bellas on 15. Nice and close. Good job, everyone. Centre wasting no time, going straight down that outside line and obtaining lead. I thought that was dash down there. So we have a guest skater for Kingston as well. Skating under the number of 8-1, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, 8-1.
And Screw is through the pack nice and quickly, obtaining lead. Starry Night hot on her heels. And this is a fast-moving pack. Pivot on pivot action there as well from May and Turtle. May being knocked out there. Oops. And Screw is calling it off after being hit out.
Awesome hit there from Mayhem. Mayhem, yeah.
The Royals now on 12 and the Bellas sneaking up to 20 points. Sensational out with lead. Coming now through for a scoring pass, but Exie says no. I'm taking you this way. Unfortunately, a cut track penalty there for Miss T. Crush fighting her way through past those Bellas blockers, gaining another 4 points. And Raf unfortunately picking up a penalty there at the end of that jam as well. I wonder if the scores are going to do this the whole game through. We've got 20 for the Royals and 28 for the Bellas.
Yes, it's a pretty close game. Lots of very strong walls and speedy juki jammers.
Always down there in the bench. She's just appeared down on the bench now as well. Okay.
It looks like our next lineup for this game is, as jammers, we've got number 07, Starry Night for the Bellas, and Dash for the Royals, Kingston Royals Derby. A full cheering squad for the Kingston jammer.
Okay, so we have a black team timeout called now because there's another person that has joined them over there. That is Shrek. Shrek's normally seen on the TRV bench. Obviously coming in to lend a hand with the Bellas today. So just taking an extra few seconds to organise the skaters.
Let's use this team timeout to thank our officials today, whether they're skating or non-skating official. Road Derby couldn't happen without you, and we're very grateful to have you around. I will also want to do a big shout out to our first aid crew, who's doing an amazing job this weekend. Thank you so much.
That's my favourite one. You don't have to do all the talking all the time.
And jam is on.
So we've already mentioned that Dash is jamming for Kingston, but I am trying to see a number there for our jammer for the Bellas.
That's 07 Starry Night.
It is again, is it?
Yes.
Getting through that pack and gaining lead. Very strong walls in this game. It's fantastic. Everybody's working together nicely. Some excellent offense there by 077 Turtle, clearing that Kingston triangle.
All right, a little score update. We've got 32 points for the Bellas and 20 points for the Royals. 22 minutes left of this first half.
Screw Lucy taking full advantage of that very clear inside line there, gaining lead. Sensational recycled through A penalty there for Mayhem, 182. And Screw through for a scoring pass there. So we've had a star pass now for the Bellas, which means that Turtle is the recognised jammer. And no sooner has May been released from the penalty box, but Carnage is going to go in and have a little rest as well. Blockers from both teams taking the time to reform and get back together. Screw pushing with everything she has to try and move those Bella blockers out of the way. And Turtle doing very much the same thing. Oh, it's very much a one blocker in, one blocker out at the moment. Carnage has been released from the bin, but unfortunately Fury is now having a rest. Bit of a tumble there. Screw coming through. Collecting 4 points as well. So that's a 12-point jam from Screw Lucy. That is no small feat. And we have even scores as well, 32 and 32. Well done, everybody. Blocker advantage slightly here to the Bellas. Kingston only 2 blockers on track, doing the best they can to hold up Starry Night, who has gotten lead. Crush has come through as well, though. Starry Night calling it off there, and Crush, no points for anybody. Double donuts means our score is also still even. All right, we've got Sensational up for the Bellas and Dash for the Royals. Little bit of chaos there. Senna with lead. Dash hot behind them. Both triangles set up, ready to go. Strategy working there for Kingston, gaining 2 points. All right, this time we've got Screw Lucy looking for any gaps and openings and ways to get through. That Bella's triangle is very strong. Recycle and dragged back by Miss T, while 07 Starry Night has made it through past those Kingston blockers to get lead jammer, which of course is what you want, because when you are lead, you are in control of the jam. You can call it off whenever your bench tells you to. That's what you should do. Directional penalty there for Raf from Kingston. And we have a star pass as well for Kingston, so Exie is now the recognised jammer. And was just stopped from coming around in that scoring pass, which is why you want lead. You can do sneaky things like call off the jam and stop the other team from scoring. Sensational jamming for the Bellas as well as Crush for the Royals. Triangles rotating around, trying to block those jammers. Senna getting through and getting lead. Senna sneaking through there on that inside line. Crush is taking that triangle from one side of the track to the other, just trying to get them to separate that little bit. Very strong defensive wall there. Lovely hit out there by Raf, dragging Senna back. And again, the same. Lovely little hit out there and dragged back by Raf. Taking us onto the straightaway there. Oh, head ref's worst nightmare. A very widely split pack. Crush is through, but he's still on the initial, and there it is. Calling it off before the Kingston jammer can get any points. Holding those scores at 34 for the Royals and 48 now for the Bellas. And we have a pink team timeout. And we're back. That's Dash getting through and getting lead. Kick and Miss T working together beautifully. Kick actually usually skates for TRV, Team Regional Victoria. Obviously having a little bit of a guest skate and a play with the Bellas today. Holding up that jammer beautifully all by herself. 8088 Princess Muscles just trying to get in there and cause some chaos and break apart that triangle. Oh, collecting a penalty as well. That's sad. So this next jam would be quite crucial for Kingston. Strategy definitely comes into play here. This is what we call a power jam, when the other jammer is sitting in the bin. And Kingston have only got to worry about 3 blockers on the track as well. Screw getting through, collecting lead. And we now have our jammer for the Bellas joining us on track as well. Solo. Heading to the penalty box, unfortunately. Screw collecting 4 points for the Royals. We've got Kick returning to track now. A little bit of cheeky blocking there from Exie, just trying to get in the way and stop Kick from making it forward to the triangle. So a no scoring jam there for the Bellas, unfortunately, holding them on 48. The Royals, 8 points for that jam, bringing them up to 50. 2 points in it, nice and close. And we have an official timeout, I believe. I could be wrong, though. Oh, that's a bit better. Here we go. Okay, so that official timeout was actually a score fixing-upping timeout. That's not a technical term. However, the Royals got 12 points in that last jam, which brings them to 54 to the Bellas 48. Crush now jamming for Kingston. And Solo for the Bellas. Crush getting out and getting lead. Solo fighting hard to get through that Kingston triangle. Exie sending them into the middle there with a hit. Coming through now, back onto the straights. And we have a star pass now. So 07 Starry Night is now the recognised jammer for the Bellas. But Crush says, no, I don't think so. Called it off. Some fantastic fighting and determination there from Turtle to try and get through those triangles. We have dash jamming for Kingston. And centre for the Bellas. One lap round and a quick call off. Screw fighting hard against the Bellas triangle there, zipping it around, missed tee, collecting lead. Meanwhile, Starry Night has been recycled back through. And a penalty there for a back block for Starry Night. Screw working hard to push these Bella blockers out. And calling it off rather than being recycled back through, which would have given the Bellas a chance to reform. Four points to the Royals in that jam, none to the Bellas. Bringing the scores to 63 to the Royals and 48 for the Bellas. So we've got a short power jam here for Dash, which has worked in their favour. They are out, they are lead. And Starry Night has now returned to the track after serving their penalty. Bit of chaos here on turn one. Starry Night pushing their way through, dancing around Exie and getting out of the pack. And Dash following the advice from the bench there to call off the jam, which again stops the Bellas from scoring. So we have Senna and Screw are our jammers for this jam. Kingston taking the jammer line there. Senna being knocked right out from early on. Screw making her way through and collecting lead. And a low block penalty there for Exie. Senna is through. This is their initial pass. They'll come back round for their scoring pass. 4 points for Screw. And a directional penalty there for 077 Turtle. So we got some points on the board this time for the Bellas, which is nice. 4 for the Bellas, which brings them to 52. 8 for the Royals, which brings them to 79. crush jamming for Kingston and ricocheting off Princess Muscles there to make it through to the front of the pack and collect lead. Starry Night fighting with determination against that Kingston triangle of Raf, Exie and May. Some pivot on pivot action there. They've almost got complementary pivot hats. They're matchy match. We have a star pass. For the Bellas jammer now is Turtle, sorry. Yes, it was Turtle for a little while. And Pink have called an official review. Each team gets one official review each half. We have 2 halves in Derby. And because I'm up here, I'm not sure what it's going to be about, but I could guess. I could guess, but I won't. So from up here, all I can say is that they've lost their official review for the Royals. So whatever it was that they were challenging, obviously potentially wasn't seen by the officials enough. Or the officials were happy with whatever had happened on track. The centre has lead for the Bellas in this jam, and Dash is making their way around the track. And calling it off before Dash can collect any points. Sneaky little 4 points for the Bellas in that one. None for the Royals. So 87 to 56 are our scores. Starry Night and Screw Lucy are our jammers. Starry Night getting through, fighting through and collecting lead. Screw getting some very nice offense there from the blockers to try and break apart that Bella's triangle. And getting out of the pack there as well on turn 2. Dari calling off the jam there from a kneeling position on turn 2, which is perfectly legal. Dash obtaining lead for the Royals, and some very fancy footwork there from Sensational on that outside line, but just not enough to keep Senna upright and inbounds. Worked that time though. And we have a cut track penalty there for the Bellas pivot. Kingston blockers working together nicely to just shut down Senna for a few seconds before Senna was able to make their way through. And that is half time, so I'm going to go and find something to eat. There is a wonderful cafe here, you should check it out too. And we are back. Now I can tell you that the egg and bacon sandwiches outside down at the cafe are fantastic, as are their donuts. We have jammers on track, we have officials ready, we have a scoreboard, we have 5 seconds. I think I know why they call dash dash. Because that's exactly what they just did. Completely down that outside line. Sensational also making their way through that pack. And Dash calling it off. 1 point to the Royals, bringing their score to 100. It's always a bit of a moment when your team reaches a 100 score. And the Bellas are on 64. Screw Lucy for Kingston and Starry Night for Bellas. Coming down into turn 2 now. The Bellas triangle, rock solid. Screw looking for a little bit of an angle. Starry Night separating the Kingston blockers, making her way through. And Starry Night calling it off there before Screw could reach the Bellas blockers, which would have given her the points. Oh. 1 point for the Bellas, bringing their score to 65. Solid hit there as jammer and blocker collide. Crush getting through and collecting lead. Centre right behind her. Crush calling it off, saying no. Pack was getting too fast, too racy, too speedy. Not interested, thank you. Centre moving as fast as they can laterally around that Kingston triangle. Has managed to collect lead even though Dash is in front of them. Bit of blocker on blocker action up there in turn 3. And again, we see 1 point for the Bellas, I believe. Yes. 0 for Kingston. It's 101 versus 66 at the moment. Screw up now for the Royals and Starry Night for the Bellas. Starry Night positioned here at the front of the pack. Knocked out, recycled and dragged back by Exie, which now places Screw at the front of the pack, pushing hard against those Bellas. Multiplayer penalty there for Solo. The penalty there was a multiplayer, so that's 30 seconds in the penalty box for them. Starry Night smashing through those Kingston blockers. May holding. Unfortunately moving in an anti-derby direction, I think, which might have meant a directional penalty. Kick is also off now for the Bellas with serving a penalty. And Starry Night calling it off. So 4 points for the Bellas in that jam, nothing for Kingston. The Royals still sitting on 101. The Bellas creeping up to 70 points now. And we have a team timeout called for the black team, for the Bellas. That rolling whistle signals the end of the team timeout. Skaters returning to track. Jammers having a friendly chat. So definitely a blocker advantage to the Royals at the moment, only having one blocker in the bin, whereas the Bellas have got two in the bin. Doesn't stop Sienna from getting through though. And Crush right behind. Nearly got everybody back on track. Oh. One Bellas blocker still standing in the bin there. And a 0 to 1 point jam again. Dash up now for Kingston. Starry Night for the Bellas. Starry Night collecting lead, so is therefore in control of the jam. Dash pushing their way through. Two Bella blockers left. One is Kick. The other is Whammy. Bella's getting back together. And Starry Night calling it off. Another low scoring jam, 0 to 2. Bella's working together strategically here to hold the Royals on the 101 points. Screw Lucy up now for the Royals. And sensational for the Bellas. Senna collecting lead after having a little bit of a tussle there with Carnage on the top of turn 1. Bella's triangle coming together and reforming at the top of the pack there, holding Screw. Some O from Exy. And unfortunately, Princess Muscles there, 808, collecting a multiplayer penalty. Senna being pushed out and dragged back by Kingston, but the bench has said call it off. So no initial pass there for Kingston, for the Royals. 2 points for Bellas on that one. Kingston setting up at the top of the pivot line there. Bella's deciding to take the jammer line. Crushes through and out. Starry Night fighting hard against Kingston individually blockers at the moment. Kingston coming together, creating a nice triangle shape there. Crush has been knocked out and recycled right back. Calling it off. So no points for the Bellas on that one. The Royals, however, we have got some points. Jammer ref is holding up 4. And there they are on the scoreboard. So 75 for the Bellas versus the Royals at 105. Dash making quick and easy work of that outside line. Senna. Quite zippy skater, Senna, I've decided. Just me on my own up here with all my non-friends. Pack now moving into turn 2, but jam is called off. We have 4 points for the Royals, bringing them to 109. And we have an official timeout for some track repair here. Big hit there, sending Carnage all the way into the inside of the track where the refs are. Starry Night flipping around that Kingston triangle. Screw Lucy jamming for the Royals. is out for her initial pass. And the instruction from the Bellas bench is to call it off before Screw Lucy can score any points. Holding the Royals now at 109. The Bellas now on 79. Bless you. Sensational jamming for the Bellas. Dash jamming for the Royals. Oh, it's looking a bit hectic down there from this angle, I can tell you. Senna zipping around that outside line of turn 1. Dash taking the inside line of turn 1, which of course is the shorter distance. Senna collecting some points and quickly calling it off, which is what you want to do. Hit it and quit it. Points and call. Ref's just having a chat on the outside here. And some more track repairs. And the points have now been added to the scoreboard for that previous jam. 4 points for the Bellas, bringing them to 83. And people, if you think your day has ended, there is a few more Derby games to be played, the last of them being the Chaos Clash, which I'm very excited to sit down and watch and enjoy, because it is going to be quite literally, as its name suggests, chaotic. There are all sorts of different rules. Sign-up sheets out the front are looking really nice and full. So if you think you might be finished for the day, I would definitely recommend sticking around for the Chaos Clash. It is going to be very entertaining. Crush making it through the pack there, but being held up beautifully by 8008 Princess Muscles. Crush is lead, however, Starry Night has now made it through. And Crush calls it off after collecting some points before Starry Night can make it to the pack to get their points. 3 points for the Royals. The Bellas starting with 1 blocker in the bin. Whammy giving a lovely little shimmy to try and put off Dash's concentration. Dash having a wonderful giggle as they come around turn 1. That's what we like to see, laughing and smiles on track while doing the Derby. And the jam called off there by Senna. After collecting 4 points, 0 for the Royals though, 112 to 87. Starry Night and Crush jamming. Starry Night taking the front. pushing with all their might against fury there from the Royals. Crush out through the pack as well. Starry Night coming through, collecting the points and being told by their bench to call it off. Very successful strategy. Hit it and quit it. Points and call. 3 for the Bellas. 0 again for the Royals, holding them on 112. Bellas have crept their score up to 90, which is really impressive. Saw some tight triangles down here to begin this jam. Dash jamming for the Royals. Senna jamming for the Bellas. Screw bridging there, holding pack. Senna out and has lead. Dash is out. Unfortunately, a back block penalty there for Exie. Just as the jam has reached the pack. 0 points for the Royals. Looks like 3 for the Bellas. Cheeky little jammer on jammer tap there, I think. Well, it looked like from this angle anyway. We've got Crush jamming for the Royals, Starry Night for the Bellas. Refs doing the reffing thing and issuing penalties for the naughties. Crush is out with lead. And we have a star pass as well for the Bellas, except... Okay, so something went wrong with that star pass. The pivot, which is the skater with the stripe on their helmet, is the only one that's allowed to take the star, but it has to be done in a very specific manner. Crush has called off that jam. So the skater with the star on their helmet is the jammer. They must, if they choose to do a star pass, it must be from hand to hand and only to the pivot. So obviously the officials saw something they didn't agree with. So the skater was informed that you are not the recognised jammer, which is why you then saw Kick turn around and go back and return the star to the previous skater that was the jammer. I'm not sure whether we have a team timeout or an official timeout. It's a timeout. Okay, so now we have a team timeout for Black. Prior to that, we'd had an official timeout. I'd say we've had a skater foul out, which is always a little bit sad, but in the rules of Derby, There's only a certain amount of penalties you're allowed before they say, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to do the skatey things anymore. It's a nice big timeout here, which means that the refs can have a drink as well. Hydrate. Okay, jam 18 of the second half here. We've got Screw Lucy for the Royals and Sensational for the Bellas, and a whole lot of mess happening on turn 1. Senna getting around that Kingston triangle, collecting lead. Screw fighting her way through. Lovely twirl to freedom. Senna coming around now for a scoring pass. Calling it off. All right, Sensational, as per their name, straight through the middle, collecting lead. Dash for the Royals. Referee crew is signalling that there is a star pass. It has happened legally. Exie is now the recognised jammer for the Royals. Senna, as the lead jammer, says, that's nice. Exie, good job, but no, I'm going to call it off and stop you from getting any points. And I'm feeling less lonely up here because I've got a new friend. JR has just tapped out of reffing the game. He was reffing on the other track. So I get to have a rest from doing the talky things, and you get to have a rest from hearing my voice.
I think it's called old age. A man's got to know his limitations as we get jam number 20 underway. 0-7 Starry Night, then getting through, picking up lead jammer for the Bellas. 2-2 Screw Lucy. It is then jamming for the Royals. This pack now comes down into turn number 1 and 2, and Starry Night seeing enough and calling it off.
And the Bellas have hit the 100 mark, which is fantastic. They have done such an incredible job of holding the Royals at 101 and 106 throughout this second half. The Bellas have crept back from, I think it was a points difference of about 25 or more points maybe, JR. So to have our points sitting at 116 to the Royals and 104 to the Bellas, they're doing well.
That is a mighty effort as we get this one started. Jamming for the Royals nicely is Dash getting on through, picking up lead jammer, nice and quick. As the pack now comes down with a bit of speed through turn number 2, heading on down the back straight away. The Bellas are going to do everything they can to get out front and try and control this, but not before Dash can come on through, pick up a cheeky 2 points. Very nicely done.
And JR, I was just saying to everybody that if they think they're finished for the day, they should definitely stick around for the Chaos Clash. I believe you're commentating that one.
I am.
And is your commentating buddy Corey for that one?
Corey is my commentator buddy.
That is going to be an excellent game to watch and listen to then if it's you and Corey commentating.
All levels of mayhem to be had in that game. Looking forward to it. Let's get Jam at number 22 underway then. Beck. It looks like Crush jamming there for the Royals. And 07 Starry Knight jamming for the Bellas. Nicely done by Knight, getting on through, picking up lead jammer.
Miss T back on track now for the Bellas. Coming up the front to join in with that triangle.
Nice little knock to the inside part of the back straightaway there by Miss T.
And giggles and smiles all round again, which is so awesome to see. These two teams have been so well matched. It really has been an incredible game.
Considering only 16 points with about 5.5 minutes to go, it really is anybody's game. Power jam for the Bellas would just about do it, I reckon, as we get this one underway.
Sensational out and lead for the Bellas. Dash fighting, and has made it through past those Bellas blockers. Oh no. Starry Night has picked up a penalty, so the jammer for the Bellas is going to have a rest in the penalty box for 30 seconds, which means we will have a full 2-minute jam because they have lost their advantage of being the lead jammer. A directional penalty there for 469 for Exie. Dash just checking the location of their feet there on that first turn as they were given a little knockout. Starry Night is back on track. Huge hit there. Dash being recycled back through. Starry Night coming around collecting points. Dash is pushing through. Whammy holding them up nicely. Blockers moving into the back straight away here, reforming, triangles set up, ready to go. Kingston Royals not quite covering that line enough, and Starry Night, sorry, not Starry Night. Sensational. I'm getting myself all confused. Making the most of that outside line and zipping through. Well done to everyone. That is a tough jam when the jams go for the full 2 minutes. We've got 10 points on the scoreboard there for the Royals and 15 for the Bellas, bringing the Royals to 130 and the Bellas to 119. They have closed that points difference right down. And a team timeout for Pink. Now, Bellas, interestingly, don't have any more timeouts left. Both teams do actually still have their official reviews, though. So we've only got 3 minutes left of Derby. Whether or not they use them will be interesting.
So Jam 24 then is underway. 7 points just separating these two teams. Trying to get through Starry Night at the front of the pack. Just the one blocker to negotiate. Nicely done. Lead Jammer going the way of the Bellas. Unfortunately, though, Beck for 182 and Mayhem for the Royals, a visit to the penalty box.
And that's an upside-down Fury on turn 2.
Just checking the left skate there, Fury. Everything seems to be okay. That was a very smart jam from Starry Night. Picking up 4 points, and it's now only 3 points separating these two teams.
I mentioned before that if a skater does too many naughty things and they accumulate too many penalties, they're not allowed to do the skatey things anymore. I'm just noticing that there's a little gathering below us here, JR. Turtle, Solo and Exy sitting together having a lovely chat and a giggle. We're behind you. Hello.
We're behind. We're behind you.
Like big creepy people that we are.
Nice hit then from Screw on the...
Senna zipping through. Such a zippy little skater. Oh my goodness.
Nicely done from Sensational, just to the outside part of turn 2, Beck. That's where all the momentum and space was, and it was taken, or attempted apex jump there, not quite landing it.
And the instruction for calling off the jam was coming from every which direction then. Sometimes it makes it really hard for a jammer. They're trying their best to listen to their bench.
Yep.
But sometimes the crowd can hear the bench when the skaters can't.
That's right. So we will no doubt have one more jam.
No, we are going to have an official timeout.
An official timeout.
It's really hard to tell whether it's Senna or Starry because they're both physically the same and we're so far away.
So we get this one underway. Just 3 points in it, Derby fans. Who is going to get through firstly? And Dash for the Royals.
Dash has collected lead, but I tell you what, Starry Night is right behind. This is a fast pack. Everybody rushing to the front. The Bellas want it. Kingston are chasing it. And call it off. That could have gone on for a long time. Well done to both the Royals and the Bellas. That was an incredible game. You have all done very, very well. Final scores there. Although still saying unofficial, 136 to the Royals, 133 to the Bellas. My name's Beck. I need to run away and put some wheels on my feet because I have to go ref another game now. But stick around to the end of the day for the Chaos Clash. It's going to be amazing.